All right, we are back to open session. We are on to item 4D, potential action, consideration to direct staff to negotiate an offer to purchase land with property owners for future highway shop development. I'm looking for a motion from infrastructure. We have a motion from Hardinger. Do we have a second? We have a second from Gisselman. Any discussion or action?
What's the wording?
It is as it's on the agenda. So we are directing staff to negotiate an offer to purchase land with property owners for future highway shop development.
Would be, I don't like the wording to purchase because they're not purchasing.
But they're going to negotiate an offer to purchase.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed?
Aye.
We have a 6-1 vote. I'll hand it over to HR and Finance.
HR Finance, what are your wishes? President Hart.
Thank you. I'll move to direct staff to negotiate an offer to purchase the discussed land with property owners for the future highway department development and bring back to the committee.
Second by Supervisor Lehman. Discussion. Not all those in favor of adopting the motion will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. That motion carries unanimously.
Next on the agenda is potential action item 4E, consideration to recommend to county board to assign a portion of the currently unassigned highway fund for building design and construction costs to reduce need for borrowing. I think given our time constraints, I think it would be best that if there's anything specific that either committee has that they would like us to bring back for a future discussion, let us know, or we can move on to the next agenda item. Is there any further information that you would like as part of this discussion, going back to our discussion earlier for 4A? Seeing nobody moving forward, we'll move to table that to a future meeting and move on to item 4F, discussion regarding changing our current highway bituminous paving financing strategy. 1, overview of current bituminous paving finance strategy, levy and registration fees.
I think in light of where we are, I think it might be helpful for us to jump to 4F3. What information do you need relative to the decision-making process? And I think we had hoped to get farther along. So is there information? I know that we had requests from a couple of supervisors relative to historic fund balances and other costs, what the operational cost of the overall highway department is in terms of their budget. Are there other items in information that you would like relative to this discussion?
One of the things that I think is important, and Administrator Leonard had brought this up in one of our meetings, is the number of vehicles that are not taxed. I think it's like 8,000 pounds under something like that. But if we can get some more information on that, I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
Not subject to the vehicle registration fee?
Correct.
Jim, did you?
I can get that number, Bill.
I have one.
If I may, if we're going to continue this conversation, I've had Debbie Jackson from the Wisconsin Transportation Development Association speak to us a number of times. She really has a great handle on future fundings. Where Wisconsin is going to go, excuse me, where Wisconsin is going to go, in their last biennium budget, there was a one-time borrow of $555 million that went into transportation. Debbie really has a good handle on this, how it's going to affect LRIP, CHIP D, and also, regarding the federal budget, the BIL bill will be ending in 2026 and what that means for infrastructure. So if the committee would like, Debbie has agreed to come to a January meeting. She's a wealth of knowledge, and she probably could answer a lot of questions of just not where Marathon County is going to go with transportation finance in the future, but where the state of Wisconsin and the federal government is headed for transportation. So I'll put that offer out there, and Debbie is willing to come at our next meeting.
Supervisor Soibert, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. I would like to know on the wheel tax, if the wheel tax is dropped, where that $3 million would come from, and how much would it increase the mill rate and the levy to make that up? And then that way we can decide if it's better to go to add it on to the taxes or to continue with the wheel tax. Thanks.
Any further requests for information? Supervisor Lemmer.
Is it possible to get a breakdown of where the wheel tax money is distributed? Maybe which highways and which municipalities maybe benefit and which don't?
Have it up there, perfect. All right, I'll just hit on this the pie chart that we have up here real quick.
Hit the button on the mic. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
How's that? Okay, if you look on the pie chart, on the bottom right quadrant is the orange, green, and the slice of light blue in there. That is our county highway paving budget. That is the money that goes into paving roads. And your question as to which roads, it's all the ones that our crews are out paving each year. It's generally about 25 to 35 miles that they cover in a year. And in that orange is your levy. The green is the wheel tax or the vehicle registration fee. And then the blue is reimbursements. It's the average reimbursements we get through the state. Some years it's 0, and some years it's 1.2 million. So it depends on the applications that we have and the cycles and the different years in there. But basically we have about $6 million that goes into pavement replacement that our crews do each year. And that is funded with the wheel tax or vehicle registration fee, levy money, and then any reimbursements we get through the state.
Supervisor Lemmer, do I understand your question to be more pointed in that you're wondering which municipalities in which the roads that Kevin was referencing, the highways, where they lie?
Yeah, I have some people in my district who question why Wausau doesn't seem to benefit from the wheel tax, and I'm just wondering to get more information on if that's true.
We can, there's the 2050 transportation plan lays out by municipality, the highway lane miles within each municipality, I believe. So we can get that information and make sure that's before the group as well.
So we need to potentially we want to have that next meeting be a joint meeting of the two committees, or have a second joint meeting to talk about where we're going with the whole issue of highway funding, in highway department funding going forward relative to reserves, wheel tax, and other sources? If the answer is yes, and I'm seeing people nod yes, when will that occur?
I don't know what Jim has for potential action items for infrastructure, but if we needed to, I think we could do that in January. Okay. How is everybody from infrastructure? Typically, our start time's 9 a.m. Does a 1 p.m. meeting inconvenience you any further than a 9 a.m. meeting does?
Well, 9 gives us the afternoon still to do something. You hear one, can't do it in the morning, and then you get home at 5 o'clock.
Let me ask the question of HR Finance. Does a 9 o'clock meeting inconvenience you with the possibility of participating remotely? I know, Scott, you've got issue. One would be?
Well, yeah, 1, 3, whatever, this later in the afternoon's better.
What's the date?
What is your date in January, the 9th? 2nd?
So if that, I mean, we would have a triple ED committee meeting on that date as well. So anytime before 3 works for me.
HR Finance is meeting the day before. We could move it to that day. Is exactly.
No, I don't think we are either.
No, we're meeting on the, I thought we were. I am January 9th.
Oh.
Instead of having a joint, can we have a separate? Like just our normal schedule?
Going to be presenting the same information, but you could.
I think for efficiency wise, for staff as well as everybody in the room, I think having a joint meeting is a better solution to what we're trying to solve.
You're hearing the same information, or you're hearing the,
Fine.
I think it's good to hear the different perspective of the other members of the board too. I think that's a value. Why don't we look at potentially moving the finance meeting to the, if you're meeting on the 9th, Ian? Supervisor?
I thought you said the 2nd.
You can't meet the-
HRFP moves or meets on the 8th, is what I have on my calendar.
Yeah, we meet on the 8th, if we move that meeting to the 9th, and then do a joint meeting with infrastructure. That would,
I will be chairing an ADRC meeting in the morning, so if we could do it in the afternoon, that will work.
1 o'clock on the 9th?
We have executive then at 3 on the 9th, is that right or no? She's got it on that calendar.
All right, we will move accordingly, and thank you.
Administrator Leonard is going to confirm we've got some conflicting calendars based on the website and what I'm seeing on my Outlook, so. Go ahead.
Committee, I did send out the agenda for road school, so if you're interested in attending road school, if you could let me know. Early registration, actually I found out ends tomorrow, but we could do it late registration. But if you are interested, please let me know as soon as possible. January 13th, 14th, and 15th, Chula Vista.
Does it come with a free water park pass?
Why don't we, we'll let you know for certain while we're trying to resolve this, and we'll get that information out as soon as we can.
Sounds good. I would look for a motion to adjourn from infrastructure. We have a motion by Vol, second by Soibert. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you.
Do I have a motion from HR Finance? Moved by Lambert, second by Hart. All those in favor of adjournment will signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. That motion carries. Don't leave the room, or don't leave.
John didn't have the patience.
I don't think I want to stay. we'll get something.
It's a long conversation. I think it's a good start. Okay, we're just gonna pick this up.
Send me an email.